Hello and welcome on Sport Update on Trust TV. Adeni G. Shafe. Well, time to look at those stories. Taking a lot of updates when it comes to sport. We just have to quickly give you all those stories making waves there. We start with wheelchair basketball. Nigeria wheelchair basketball qualify for 2023 African Games. They participated in this competition in Ghana, and the good thing is that right now they did well. They defeated Ghana, Gambia, and also Senegal, and we are celebrating the guys. They nearly did not make this particular journey, but courtesy of their president, who did defeat, at least he did everything he could do just for him to get this team there, and right now they qualify for the 2023 African Games. Congrats to Team Nigeria. The wheelchair basketball players are right now very happy for the fact that they were able to go to that event. They went for it and they got the ticket to participate at the 2023 African Games, formerly called All African Games, courtesy of African Games, changing that particular name there. I have in the studio with me a lady who is into sport. My dear Omar is here. Good to have my dear.
Hello, Ademi Adishafek. It's good to have you and have me in the studio.
Of course.
To speak. So
maybe I don't have
it's been a long time. No, you know, when you are in, I call it the stadium. You know, when you are talking sport, it's a stadium, and everybody's just happy to have each other.
A good one there. Well, my dear Omar, it's good to have you around. Now, let's talk about this particular wheelchair basketball team, Nigeria. They went to Ghana, they conquered. They saw, they conquered, and they were able to achieve qualifying for the 2023 African Games. And do you know that they nearly didn't want to make this particular journey because of lack of fund, paucity of funds.
Exactly.
But eventually they were able to make it, courtesy of the president of that federation. For the fact that they were able to go, now they qualify. They won straight all the games they play. They defeated Ghana, Senegal, Gambia, and all that.
This is what the best definition of crossing all hurdles to achieve your aims. Yeah, initially there was problem of sponsorship and all of the things put together for them to excel. But, you know, they said, let's just go through this. Let's go past this and just excel. And they made it. And that's a thing of joy. I'm hoping that, you know, going forward, because of what they've gone through, they'll be able to put that motivation, that perseverance, and that patience, because it takes a lot of patience for you to go to the next stage and do something worthwhile when, you know, there's a lot of hurdles in your way. So I think that will propel them to actually get to the top. And I'm wishing them a very, very successful journey. And we need more sponsorship, so to speak. It's very important. You know, when we have a lot of very talented people, not just in sports, in other aspects, but right now we're talking about sport. And, you know, we hear this all the time when Nigerians are going for competition. Remember the Olympics, the last Olympics, we had problems of jerseys. Even something to wear to represent your country becomes a problem. Then we have other companies who were willing to sponsor, but, approval was even a problem. So I think before any competition or prior to any competition, we have to set a roadmap. We have to make sure that we want to sponsor, not last-minute sponsors. Last-minute sponsors are very good, but you have to make up your mind to support this young talent so they don't get to a point where they said, okay, there's this hurdle, we cannot cross it, and then they just relent, where we have very talented people who can go out there and win laurels for us. So I think people should do better. If you're a lover of sport, nothing is too small. Jerseys, bringing up money to buy jerseys, even kits and all of that. You know, it goes a very, very long way. Even water, you know, something that has to do with logistics goes a long way. Let's encourage these people and see where we can move our sports industry in the country. A good one there, looking at Nigerian sportsmen in all sphere of life doing well. When it comes to wheelchair basketball, we've qualified for the African Games 2023, and we love the fact that the guys did us proud. The wheelchair team, they go to Ghana and they did well. They are now crossing away from wheelchair basketball. Let's talk about football now. Something happened in Abuja, Buhari precisely. The NLO, that's Nationwide League One, hammer falls on Police Machine FC there. Let's look at that story. Nationwide League One's hammer falls on Police FC Machine for the fact that they actually attacked the team they played, the referee that actually referred the game, the officials of that game there. Looking at that story there, and also we look at the NLO summary jurisdiction. As we look at the story, let's look at the summary coming from the Nationwide League One concerning that act of assault on the referee there. The Nationwide League One Secretariat received a report of unsportsmanship behavior of Police FC players. An official
officials in their match against the Royal Stars FC. Well, sequel to above, and the fact that such actions are least expected from law enforcement agents in sport. We hereby apply the rules as stated below. The name of all the people that actually did the undoable. Well, Lucky Yusuf, team manager, indefinite suspension from football activities. The coach, that's Coach Paul, indefinite suspension from football activities. Tana Magash is also a coach. Ida Dominic, Robert Bernard, Nasara Peter is a player. Robert Bernard is also a player. Simpson Godwin, James Abu, all of them getting indefinite suspension from football activities in Nigeria. Police FC is also fined a sum of 100,000 naira to be paid to NLO. Police FC must repair all the damaged facilities in the stadium. Police FC shall pay the sum of 100,000 naira for medicals of all the injured officials due to assault on them by members of Police FC. This payment shall be paid before their next match in the ongoing 2023 league season there. Well, this decision shall be communicated to the Nigerian Police Headquarters and Nigerian Football Federation for further sanctions. Well, looking at this, it was formerly IMC running the league, that's MPFL. NNL run the NNL. Now, NLO, the third tier of our league, the third tier, this is where it's happening. And a fracas actually broke out where this particular team called Police Machine FC attacked the referee. Not just the team manager, the coach also participated, the player participated, the players, and right now beating up the center referee. Not only one, attacking them, and they had to run for their life. Seriously.
This is not surprising, honestly, because, you know, imagine when we played our World Cup qualifier with Ghana. You were there, I was there, we saw what happened. We were tear gassed.
We had to run for our lives.
Exactly. And then, you know, in our MPFL, we've seen multiple cases of assault on football officials. And I was thinking that, you know, Abuja as the capital city, you know, we have a lot of civilized people here, people who have the spirit of sportsmanship and will not want to perpetrate any act of violence. But the reverse has been the case from the qualifiers that we've seen. And then we have Buhari, you know, with everything that has gone, the township stadium in Buhari. This should be condemned to the highest level. You know, when we have people who have no spirit of sportsmanship coming to display what kind of attitude I cannot explain on the field. If you're agitated, there's actually an avenue for you to actually say what you don't like about the match. And if it is worth talking about, a committee will be constituted. And sometimes you don't even get to that level. You don't get to the level of constituting a committee. Matters are thrashed even before the next game. And if it results to a cancellation, you've seen that, you've witnessed it. It does come to a cancellation and these things will be resolved. So for the police machines, for the kind of organization or agency that they represent, this is really sad. Because police maintain law and order. And then we are having people who represent people who maintain law and order, breaking the law. Then
somebody actually joked and said it's like they forgot that they are representing the police.
Yeah, you shouldn't actually.
Seriously.
Because I see professionals, when in whatever field, in the broadcast industry, in the sports industry, these are professionals. This is your career. This is your life. You put everything in it. And then when you have people coming to say that you cannot perform or you cannot partake in activities that revolves around your life or your career, then you are done for. Like, I know how very sad it is for a sportsman to be asked to retire voluntarily or involuntarily. We've seen the likes of, you know, the tennis players, the football players, just injury, a minor injury, and they shed tears. Not to even think about, you know, you did something very wrong, and that is why you were asked to retire or even asked, suspended indefinitely, like we've seen. And then money, I think that the fine that was given to police machines are even not what I was expecting. I was expecting millions.
This is nationwide League One.
I know, actually, there's no money. So when you find them like that, then you see that the football club will go to rest. And maybe probably when you're able to put this money together, go beg people you want to beg, agencies and all of that, maybe the agency that you are representing are able to bring this money together. Then whenever you want to go into that kind of, you know, act of violence, you remember how I suffered what I went through to be back.
To get those
I think
money.
that might even curb, this act of violence, because honestly, I am tired of listening to people talk about violence in games, in sport activities. It shouldn't be advised at all. It shouldn't be encouraged. It should be dealt with at this level before it gets out of hand.
Seriously, it's uncalled for to see how this is happening concerning our league. There, Police Machine FC are attacking the officials of that game against the Royal Stars. They are playing Buhari. Really, so uncalled for. But right now, we just have to do something concerning all these fracas or assaults in our football. We need to really sanitize this. It's giving a bad name to Nigerian football. Imagine if that particular match is being televised live. What will be happening? They'll be like, look at Nigerian third-tier league and look at what is happening. We watched those leagues in Zambia, South Africa, even Sudan. We've not seen this, even though whatever it is, we need to just settle. We have committees set up to look at issues that have to do with you not being happy with the way the officials actually officiated their games. You can always forward your complaint instead of taking law into your hands. And also the fact that this police team, maybe they forgot, like someone joked that they forgot they are playing for police. Well, anyway, just to let you have a feel of that particular update in world of football, Nationwide League One, let's cross over to the Nationwide NNL, Nigerian National League, the second tier of Nigerian Football League, and look at the NNL relegation and promotion modules released by the NNL Secretariat. Let's look at those modules in promotion. Northern and Southern conferences of the league were broken into 4 subgroups, A1, A2, A3, A4. We looked at that in our earlier that's our 360 sport, but right now we are looking at the relegation and promotion modules where Southern region B1, B2, B3 and B4 to meet with the football calendar set by the Nigerian Football Federation NFF. NNL rulebook provides that 12 teams shall be relegated from NNL at the end of the season, while it shall receive 8 from the Nationwide League One. That's the team that will promote from Nationwide League One to NNL. 4 shall be received from the Nigerian Premier Football League and same number promoted to the MPFL from NNL. Relegation playoffs, the last, that's the bottom teams in each of the 8 groups shall be automatically relegated to the third-tier domestic league, the Nationwide League One. The second to the last teams in the 8 groups shall go for relegation playoffs to determine the 4 teams to compete, to complete the 12 rather, 12 teams to be relegated from NNL to NLO. NNL shall provide suitable venue for the relegation playoffs. Just to let you have an update coming from the Nigerian National League Secretariat concerning the promotion and also relegation modules concerning this second tier of our league. Well, I love the fact that it's being spelled out now for people to understand. A lot of people don't really, people focus on the MPFL. A lot of people don't know what happens in NNL or NLO. How do you get promoted to NNL and how do you get relegated to NLO? At least that particular line up there has actually updated us a bit.
Yeah, I see that the lineup is clear enough. Even if you don't know football, you should be able to see the different color and how they've been spread across. I think nobody is going to complain that, we don't have opportunities given to, the different leagues that we have in the country. Now we see that, it's been separated, it's been spelled out. A lot of people get to understand. Now it's left for the players now to come together and do their best. If you want to progress, you know what to do. If you want to remain in the relegation zone, okay, probably you just have to look at the ball when it's being passed to you and just wait for your opponent to do what they know how to do with the ball. And then you know how it feels to be in the relegation zone. But let's see how it goes. I'm happy that this is spelled out. I'm happy that, when this is spelled out, a lot of importance will be given to it. A lot of attention will be given to it. And let's see how we can move some of these leagues, aside the MPFL to the next level. The MPFL is still suffering, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the NNL right now. Let's see the teams that are going to do well and not. Our fingers are crossed. I'm looking forward to see what will happen because I am always thrilled when I see these Nigerian leagues actually making their way to the top. And I feel that, we should support, just like you're doing right now. If you have a lot of sports presenters, sports show, talking about this, and talking about the differences, spelling out the different groups and all of that, we'll be able to, understand and then throw support to any of the leagues that we want to support.
That's why we also promote our own, really. A lot of people don't really understand most of these things and the attention given to foreign sport. If you can give like I look at it, if you can give even 20% of attention that we give to foreign sport, to our own sport, for people to know, media need to do more, projecting more Nigerian sport. No matter how, a lot of people will say, yes, I don't know anything about Nigerian sport, but we can learn, we can know about it.
True.
The more we project it, the more people fall in love because, oh, so this is how it is. If you look at, you are talking about sport and you can hear much about Nigerian sportsmen in wheelchair basketball, in weightlifting, in powerlifting, in different diverse sports out there that have so many talented Nigerians. They are into it. But because they are not being projected, you don't even know that they do it.
And aside the projection, there's always a thing, because I would like to speak from both sides of the table right now. Since we're not giving opportunities for people who are watching to actually speak at the moment. You know, when you throw support to some of these leagues, I know that, you know, the complacency sets in sometimes. Some of people who are being given opportunity do not even take things seriously. Some of the players like a dassical attitude, some of them perpetrating crimes when it has to do with their profession. You want to progress to the next level, you're not taking things seriously, you know. And some of the league managers as well, they're not doing the right things. You know, the sponsorship that you've been given, is the money utilized the right way and all of that. So it gives a sense of relent or relent to, you know, viewers who are supporting this thing. When you see that the league is not serious.
People become resentful of it.
Resentful.
Yes.
You know, you are disappointed by what you see.
You are not interested.
Watch. Yes, because when we are hearing from this league that we talked about, the police machines, now something like this is happening, and then I'm just getting to know these people, I'm getting to know this league, and you think that I would want to, if I am not into it, like maybe if I don't have a relative or a friend or a family member there, do you think I would want to go back there and see what's happening?
I get your point.
I'm disappointed already. So this is a time where all sportsmen need to put their act together. If you want support, you need to show that you're up for the job. You need to show us that you have this talent and that's why you got to this stage and you're willing to progress. So if we have that spirit, we have that, you know, zeal to prove ourselves to Nigerians, to Africans, and to the world, I think we'll rally a lot of support. We see a lot of it, just like recently, we see a chef who has been cooking for 4 days. So if you see that kind of resilience from an ordinary, I wouldn't say...
with all due respect, to appreciate the lady for what she did. But did you know at times, all this support, but we've seen so many sportsmen achieving and nobody give a hoot about them. Why is it always like that?
Okay, so when we keep being pushy, it's really hard because just like you said, a lot of people don't understand what happens in sports. You know, some people will sit at the comfort of their home and say 11 big men running after one ball. So it happens like that. You know, people need to get into it. You know, I would say sports have this spirit, but you need to connect. I don't know if I'm to say spiritually, physically, emotionally.
You just have to be passionate about it.
You just have to be passionate about it, and then that's when you will see what others don't see.
Well, we've been talking about sport, and now we're talking about the NLO there. Well, right now, we also talk about the NNL, Nigerian National League. All this will try at least to project our own. We need to know much more concerning Nigerian sport. So many Nigerians are into sport. All we need to do is to support them. So many corporate organizations that can at least add a little hand of help to get Nigerian sportsmen off the streets who really have a lot of talent to keep Nigeria at that top when it comes to the Community of Nations. And now we move away from there. Let's talk about the big one for tonight. UEFA Champions League semi-final second leg. We are Inter Milan. We're facing AC Milan and San Siro, the one they call Giuseppe Meazza. The first leg ended 2-0 in favor of the Nerazzurris against the Rossoneri. But right now, the Rossoneri, well, they are actually using the same stadium, funny enough. But it's the turn of Inter Milan to be at home against AC Milan. So you can actually call it to be Inter versus Milan. Wow.
It's a big one because both of them have really done well when it comes to UCL. They are neighbors. And in the Serie A, of course, they are at par with each other. See, this is the battle or the clash of the titans right now. So for a team that has clinched the title for 3 times, both 3 times, but you know, when you look at Inter now, Inter is the one that has clinched earliest, 2010. So it's like, okay, this is 13 years after it. Can we have a shot at this.
Now, AC Milan, they've won more than Inter. AC Milan should be going 6 or thereabout now because they really done well against Inter when it comes to Champions League win.
Champions League win. So we're seeing that, you know, both teams will not be given chances at the point. I know that, you know, Inter is ahead right now, and any snooze from AC Milan, that's it for them. They're out. So I think they want to do their best this evening, but I'm still rooting for Inter actually. Because
can you tell me why you're rooting for Inter?
You saw what happened in the last match. We weren't expecting it. A lot of people were like,
2-0.
Okay, yes, AC Milan. After the first goal, people were like, okay, this is just starting, and then boom, the second one happened. You know, it just happened in a way that we didn't expect. A lot of people didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. But it happened. I thought it was going to be 1-1 at the end because it was a clash of the Titans. But right now, I'm still rooting for Inter because I feel like the last performance set the tone for what will happen today.
Well, a big one will be happening there between Inter Milan and AC Milan. It's the battle of the Nera and the Rosso. Let's see who wins the battle there of the Azzurri's team. Well, a big one there tonight. 2-0 in favor of Inter Milan in the first leg, and now the second leg to see the aggregate. If we place side by side, expected or possible lineup for Inter Milan. Andrea Onana is there, Federico Di Marco, Mkhitaryan, Hakan Calhanoglu, Lucas De Vrij, Serbi, Martinez, Lukaku, and you have AC Milan 4-2-3-1, Theo Hernandez, Fikayo Tomori, Pobega. You look at Brian Diaz, Olivier Giroud at the front, just like the way it happened in the last one. We wait to see who triumph in this game. A big one, a big battle between the two teams, and they really want to fight. Now, before we go, let's wrap up with some transfer stories. Manchester City, the midfielder Bernardo Silva, is PSG top target to replace Lionel Messi. We look at that story, and Arsenal to offer West Ham club record fee of £19 million for midfielder Declan Rice. And the last one says Chelsea won Napoli striker Victor Osimhen as part of Pochettino's summer rebuild. Let's just look at that Osimhen briefly. Osimhen right now to Chelsea.
I disagree. I know that Chelsea is struggling at the moment, but you know, a lot of people would say that Osimhen is at a peak or getting to the peak of his career, and I wouldn't want him to get to Chelsea and start struggling. We've seen how people from Serie A or other leagues will go to Premier League and, you know, something happens. I'm not rooting for Osimhen to go to Chelsea at the moment.
That's coming from my dear Uma there. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm Adeniyi Ajisafe. Thanks for watching.